everyone, I'm Francia. Today we're going to do a quick little tutorial on sun salutation A. Many of us can't really do the sun salutations as they're designed or as most people do them. So we're going to go through a little breakdown of how to make sun salutation A very accessible for you in your own body. We are going to use a set of blocks because sometimes the blocks help to bring the earth up to us, creating it a little bit more easy for us to move into some of these extensions, like for example, into a plank or going from a forward fold into the plank or back forward to the forward fold. So it's going to be useful to have. If you don't need them, don't use them. But if you do, have them nearby so that you can have access to them. So we're going to start in a nice standing position. This is Samastitihi. The feet are about hip width apart. If you like, you can bring your big toes together, but keep your heels slightly separated. I like to have my feet kind of just straight down through my hips. So there's this sense of like I'm grounded through my hips, the fronts of my hip bones, my legs are engaged, and I'm reaching down through the soles of my feet. So from this position in Samastitihi, feel your feet grounded, rooted, so that the toes can press down, and allow that energy of the inhale breath to rise up from the soles of the feet into the legs, into the abdomen, and make sure that you feel expansion into your lower back, the area of your kidneys. You don't want that to be contracted as you push your hips forward, but instead kind of wide and open. And the same idea in the front of the rib cage, the chest lifts, the arms can kind of just rest down by your sides, and the shoulders can relax away from the ears. Your chin is parallel to the floor. And let's just breathe here for a few moments. Inhale and exhale. You might start to come aware as you continue to breathe that there's a little bit of sound happening each time you breathe in and out. See if you can connect to that sound. Again, inhale and exhale. As we prepare for our practice, just honor your body as you move through and try to really work with your breath. Now, as the end of that last exhale, releases, completely emptying the lungs. Let's fill the next breath in with the inhale. Let the palms start to rise up, still inhaling. Now, traditionally, we would have the arms overhead. Let's bring them slightly forward so that the palms can touch and the arms can straighten. From this position, gaze towards the thumbs, and then again, roll the shoulders back and down, root down through your feet. Inhale deeply. And then exhale, gently bend the elbows, bend the knees softly, and then release your hands down to the mat. Now, this is where you're going to find out whether or not you need those blocks. If your palms can rest easily on either sides of your feet, heels down, heads relaxed completely, back is nice and long, then you probably don't need the blocks. But say you're folding and you find yourself kind of hanging here. This is what I'd like for you to attempt, is to draw the rib cage open as you bring your upper body, your torso, towards the thighs. And then maybe that makes it more accessible so you can bring the fingertips at least down to the mat. If the palms aren't flat, that's okay, but you want to have some contact with the mat. And avoid having your hands too far forward if it's at all possible, but instead bringing your hands back so that your weight is entirely on your legs here. You're not supporting yourself with your arms like you would be in downward facing. Now let the head relax completely, let the shoulders soften. And then from there, as you release the full exhale, we inhale and we're going to lift halfway. So here you can have your fingertips on the mat, your shoulders can roll back. You can even bring your hands to your shins and really lift up through your spine. Roll the weight forward a little bit. Again, blocks would be very useful here if you have them. You can have the blocks underneath you, and I will show with the blocks in a moment. As you exhale, softly release, back down, let your hands rest, let your head relax. And then now you're going to plant your hands on the mat. So say your heels are lifted off the mat, the heels of your hands. Walk them forward until you can bring your palms completely flat to the floor. That's what we want to have here, is flat hands so that we can bring weight, transfer weight from our feet to our hands. And from here, we're going to start to walk our feet back. Notice how my shoulders are staying right over my wrists. I'm not bringing my hips back. I'm just walking my legs back. Kind of imagine you have a corset hugging in through your center line body, and you're fanning out the shoulders. You're finding strength in your legs here. You're pushing your heels back, and you're keeping your shoulders, elbows, and wrists in one line. Now, most people here can't do chaturanga or are just not able to do it at this time. So a good transition we're going to learn here is we're going to exhale and move right into downward facing after holding our high plank. So now the downward facing dog, we separate the feet hip width apart. We move the space of the rib cage through the window of the arms so that you can kind of gaze towards your upper thighs or maybe even in the direction of your navel. Move your shoulders away from each other and let's breathe here for 1, 2. If you need a break, if you've been here too long, you can always bring those knees down, take child's pose. 3, 4, and 5. Now, with the next in-breath, we're going to look forward, keeping your palms flat, lift your heels, walk your feet forward. Now, most of us at some point can't keep walking. There's no space. So here's where we come to the fingertips. Keep the weight on the fingertips. Continue to walk forward. Once your feet are all the way up at the top of your mat, again, head down, release. Inhale, we rise up. Nice and steady, gazing towards the thumbs. And again, we want the arms slightly forward. Habit for me is to bring the arms overhead. But for this tutorial, just to have them forward, reaching and extending will make a big difference in your shoulders and in your pose. And then exhale, release arms by your sides. Good. So now we're going to do the whole thing using the blocks. So grab your blocks, place one on the outside of the left foot, one on the outside of the right foot, and we'll come to standing once more. So same as before, finding Samastitihi. Deep breath in, slow breath out. One more time. Let your heart shine open as you inhale. Soften the muscles as you exhale. Inhale, lift the arms slightly forward. Looking towards the thumbs. Exhale, fold deeply. Keep your gaze towards the tip of your nose as you bring your hands to the block. Let your head relax, shoulders away from the ears. See if you can straighten your legs a little bit. Otherwise, keep them bent, no worries. Inhale, we lift halfway. We open the heart space with the blocks. You might be able to press more of the heels down, stretching to the wrists, or you can come to your fingertips, or like before, come to your shins. What we're trying to accomplish here is like a flat back, almost like a tabletop, but in a standing pose. Now exhale, bend your knees. Now you can plant your hands on the block right where they are, or you can slide them slightly forward. It's going to depend on the flexibility in your hamstrings. So with wherever your hands decide to be, have them right on the blocks, and then start to walk or step your feet back, same as before. Notice I'm not bringing my weight back. I'm keeping my weight, shoulders over my wrists. And I'm continuing to walk, continuing to lengthen. And then I find myself in my high plank. Hug in through the abdomen, chalk in through your rib cage, press back through your heels, find strength in your body here, push up onto the floor, separate your shoulder blades, and then exhale all the way back to your downward facing. You can walk your feet in just a little bit, separate them hip width, and then let yourself move between the space of the arms. The belly draws in, and we're kind of just gazing out through the tip of the nose towards the upper thighs, the knees, or in the direction of your belly button. If your heels don't quite come down and you have to soften your knees, this is a better option than having weight forward on your hands. So if you find yourself in this kind of funky shape, bend your knees, move your weight back, and then try to straighten your legs. It may not all happen today, but with regular practice, it does change. Your body starts to become more aware of itself and its movements. Now, one more breath. Exhale completely. Inhale, we look forward between the hands. We start to walk or step our feet all the way back to the top of your mat. Inhale to lift with the shoulders roll back. Exhale to fold and release. Inhale, let's take a little change here. Soften your knees a little bit. Bring your hands to your waist. Draw your belly in and kind of push back with your hands as you start to lift your body up. And then once you're up, inhaling, lift the arms slightly forward, thumbs together, gazing towards the thumbs. Exhale, arms by your sides. Okay, we're going to do one more with or without the blocks. Now you've tried it both ways. You decide what you need. Inhale, draw the arms up. Exhale, take your forward fold. Let your head relax. Inhale, lift halfway. Position your hands as you need to. Exhale, plant your hands firmly on the blocks or on the floor. Walk or step your feet back. Keep your shoulders and your elbows and your wrists stacked. Once your legs are back, find your high plank. The other option I will allow you, I will share with you here is you can always bring your knees down and do this here. So this is the same pose, just not as difficult. So if you're feeling tired, you can come here and kind of just give yourself a moment. Now, this doesn't mean dumping your hips and sinking. You're still engaging into your rib cage and you're still kind of moving into that space of the pelvis. So whether you're on your knees or on your toes, it's the same engagement you're working with. Now, as we exhale, let's roll back to downward facing. Slightly step the feet in a little bit, soften your knees, move into the space of your spine, and only if and when you're ready, the heels reach down and the legs straighten. There should be equal distribution of the body weight here between the hands and feet. So you should feel like your feet are grounded, your hands are grounded. And as you breathe in, breathe through those points of contact you're making with the earth, the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. The breath moves in through the body, through the limbs, expanding the lungs, lengthening through the lower back, letting the head be relaxed. And then as you exhale, you sit into the creation that you've made. So into the space you create with the inhale, you kind of settle into it with the exhale breath. One more breath, inhale. Exhale. And then inhale, look forward. Walk, step your feet forward, back to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold and release. Inhale, root to rise with the hands at your hips or not, you choose. And exhale, arms by your sides. Good. Let's do one last one. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold deeply, release the head, hands to the blocks or the floor. Inhale, lift halfway, shoulders roll back, strong legs. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, start to walk your feet back. Keep your shoulders, elbows, and wrists stacked. Take your high plank from the toes or from the knees, your choice. Breathe here. Exhale, push your way back. Take downward facing dog. And settle into your posture. This downward facing dog eventually becomes a little bit of a resting posture for us. Maybe not the case for you today. But as you find yourself here with the hands on the block, it really allows a little extra more space in the shoulder. So it feels kind of nice to have that. If you don't like it, if it's not for you, hands on the mat works just the same. So nice deep breath in, slow breath out, lifting up through the quadriceps, engaging into the knees, reaching the heels to the earth, even if they don't touch, lengthening the tailbone up and back, long extended spine. Keep your drishti, your gaze, your focus, and fully exhale. Inhale, look forward between the hands, bring your weight forward, walk nice and slow. You can have your knees softly bent. Once your feet arrive, inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root and rise. Root to the soles of your feet, strong legs, rise up. Palms together, gazing at thumbs, wrap your shoulder blades around, relax your glutes and abdomen, and then exhale, arms by your sides. So this way we can all practice Surya Namaskar A. You're able to move through the practice at your own pace and make it your own. So remember, anytime you come into a yoga practice, you want to really feel yourself breathing, feel yourself moving. Anything other than that, if you're just forcing your body, you're not really benefiting from it. So allow yourself to move with self-love, self-care, and deep intention so that every breath and every movement is offered like a prayer. So thank you so much for taking this quick tutorial with me. I hope you enjoy your practice, and I hope to see you soon in one of my classes. Namaste.